Welcome back to Infamous Idiots. We're here with an official bonus episode.
Take 3, apparently.
Yeah, it's take 3 because he cannot censor himself.
That's
What
not
the damn?
true.
What were you saying about Asian people?
They make great food.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's exactly what I said. You misconstrued what I meant to say. Anyways, on today's topic of the day,
Yeah.
you have anything interesting?
Where the hell are your notes? You're always like, I have these notes.
Well,
He'll text me and be like, have you done any of this? Have you done any of this? Have you done it?
First
And
of
then I
all-
come on and he's like, so, Asians, am I right?
No comment. But, first of all, you haven't even caught up on The Boys.
I haven't.
Okay?
But I had to watch
Second
Magnus
of all-
1, and I only had one day, and I only
You
have
keep
one day
saying
today.
Magnus 1.
What is it called? -1.
-1.
-1.
I know math is hard for you. See, this is what I mean. He bullies me. And can you imagine what he would do to a significant other? I'm sorry.
Oh my god, here we go.
Abuser. At least you're not a diddler like Diddy. Dude, that's crazy.
I actually don't even fully know everything.
First of all,
I guess
he
you could
tried
fill
to-
me in.
He tried to kill our boy Kid Cudi.
Really?
He planted a bomb. It's actually in the court case because the girl, unfortunately, this isn't funny at all, but like, the video of don't laugh. The video.
Just the way you kind of rolled it. You're like, it's not funny.
It's not funny.
It's not funny. Like previously, I laughed, but it's not funny now. That's how you made it sound.
Anyways, he got the video of him beating his ex.
Okay. Yeah.
So she had a thing with Kid Cudi,
Mm.
and then he found out and put a bomb in his car. That's
this is all
crazy.
true.
This is in the court documents. Oh, I think he's actually listed,
Mm-hmm.
or they allude to a rapper, but it's like a lot of this like Me Too stuff that's been happening.
Yeah,
with all
yeah.
these movie producers, like just producers in general. These have all been general knowledge within the community. Like everyone that's in that industry knows.
I had no
And like that's insane.
See, I saw some of the Diddy stuff, but I just I don't know. I just didn't fully pay attention.
Dude.
I did not know. I did not know he tried to kill. What?
Kill Kid Cudi?
Like it was official. He's trying to kill him.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like, oh, I'm trying to mess
Dude.
up your car or anything.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is
That's actually
crazy.
insane.
And also, there's he was like sexually active with
I did see that.
Meek Mill.
Yeah, I did see that.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
Dude, that's just fucking crazy. Like,
Things people are into is just kind of like, whoa, what? Like, I don't know.
yeah, man, that shit's just insane.
And there was like a whole ring, right?
Yeah, his house got raided. His kids got arrested. It's just this whole crazy.
I saw the
situation.
one funny
And he
video.
had the worst apology
Oh,
of all.
I didn't even know
time.
he apologized.
Yeah, he sent out a video. It was after the video of him beating on his ex was released. He's like, I'd like to apologize. Like, it was the worst apology I've ever heard in my entire life. It's like, bro, did you not watch the video? Like, I know you did it, but like, you must have been upset that you didn't remember
Yeah.
how bad this was. And the fact that that's been in custody, that video was in custody since like 2000. I want to say 14, 15. I could be wrong, but like, and it's being released now in 2024. So that's how long that song
Wow.
has had it. That's insane. That's insane.
I'm so out of the loop with that. I did not know anything.
Well, it's just because like shit pops up and
Yeah.
it's on my, it's on, like on my feed and I'll get curious. But also
Yeah.
like, because in my heart, I wouldn't be surprised if P Diddy killed Biggie.
I did see that. I know,
You know?
that's been like a rumor for a while.
Yeah,
Like, a long
exactly.
time.
So
Like
I'm
Eminem mentioned it in Killshot, so it's been around for a long time.
exactly. I'm just saying, dude. You never
I mean,
know.
beef back in the day with rap was just a different
was
animal.
amazing.
It was just a different
good.
animal.
I mean, we got the Kendrick and
Yeah, but it was the
Drake.
first thing since MGK and Eminem. So it's been like at least 7 years since that happened.
Yeah, rappers start beefing, please. Make this shit interesting. You have no
Yeah.
idea how boring.
I was
rappers got.
mad initially when J. Cole pulled out when he's like, yeah, you know what, I'm throwing. in
I
the-
know.
But Kendrick got so I shouldn't just say Kendrick, but they both got so petty. Kendrick and Drake got so petty, and now that it's been a few weeks since that whole beef has happened, I'm like, I'm just happy that it got Kendrick out of his shell, essentially. I
Yeah.
guess is the best way to put it.
Because Drake won.
What?
Right?
You think Drake won?
Do you not think Drake won?
No, he did not
I'm
win.
just kidding.
Not Like Us was just probably an all-time classic in terms of just rap beef, like a comeback.
I've never heard it actually. I've only heard Euphoria. And why are you being so dramatic?
Dude, Not Like Us has been everywhere. See, this is the thing with Marco. He's a fucking idiot. And I could never tell when he's being serious and when he's not. Because they're just the same. The energy is the same. So sometimes he'll say some wild stuff. I'm like, is this his actual thought? Hey, by the way, today's filmed in front of a live audience.
It's my cat.
He looks so cute right now.
Unbothered.
He's unbothered. He's
like,
going back.
continue.
He's like going back to sleep.
He was here during the first episode.
Oh, was he here the first episode?
Yeah.
I was so dialed in for the first episode. Like, I think one thing about the pod that I've already realized now that we're essentially 3 episodes in is that, like, when we're really in it, like, I have no other thought other than what is happening right here, right now.
It's called being present in the moment.
I know, but like, I know what present being in the moment is, but sometimes it can be, to me at least, it can be hard to be in that. I don't know if you have that or not.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I can be a little bit too much in my head and be like, not even realize that I'm in my head.
Yeah.
And then like coming on the pod, because like obviously I make my own videos, and like I can get that in parts, but I don't have anyone else to bounce off of. Do you know what I mean? So it's like usually it's always my own continuous thoughts carrying forward, and like I'll stop like if let's say I was making a video right now, but I'll stop and be like, no, I shouldn't do that. I should do a retake, and obviously I just edit that part out. But like in a pod, it's like you gotta go, you know, like so it's to me it's even more present than when I'm just normally making a normal video.
Do you notice? It might seem a little off topic about how a creative really has to dial in and everything else just drowns out. But sometimes like that solitude is what's needed for said project.
Oh yes, dude. I've been in multiple spots in my YouTube journey, because I can't even call it a career yet, in my YouTube journey that where it's just been like there's been moments where I'm so dialed in, like I'm making videos all the time.
Yeah.
I'm just like in a new, like I'm just in my groove. And then it will just fall out. Like I'll just and it will be like I want to do it, but I just for some reason I'm like I'll do it tomorrow type deal.
Yeah, dude. Man, what's your creative process like?
So I basically have like a little vision board in my room where it'll be like, I'm gonna butcher it, but because I wrote it down a while ago. But it's like, what's the problem? Or no, it's take action. What's the goal? Make it your own, and then it's like a circle. It repeats. So like that's always what it is. So once I make a video, I'm like, what's the topic of the video? How am I gonna do it? How am I gonna edit? What's my editing process gonna be? Because not every video is gonna be the exact same.
Right.
Sometimes you need to structure it better, you know, with like an actual script, and sometimes it's more like this, where I'm like, I'm just going off the cuff. I'm gonna go with the flow, the reaction of like how when I die to somebody or what happens in game, and you know I try to edit around that. So then it just recycles. So like I said, some videos are just gonna be different. So going into it, I think the biggest thing is I just have to figure out what game it's gonna be, and then I feel like everything kind of falls in line.
So do you think you struggled starting to get like a routine when you started your YouTube journey?
Oh yeah, dude, it's because like, especially because like right here with the pod, I already have so much more knowledge going into it. I'm like, we gotta have OBS, we gotta have the camera, we gotta have this.
Yeah.
Just having that knowledge of knowing what I need. Versus when I first started, not even my very first channel, but I'll just go to my current one. Like I had already had knowledge before that point, and I was still such a novice going into it. Like I don't know, I didn't really think I needed a light for external lighting. Like I didn't think I needed that, and it's just like things that because I was like, oh, I'm just playing video games, whatever. And like then I'm like, well, I do need a camera because I want to be able to interact with people because they just. Psychology is better when you can actually see the person and you can relate to that person more, especially when you know they have similar, you know, memories or you know have experienced similar things to you. So yeah.
It's interesting, man. That sounds like pretty neat experience for you, but that sounds awful for me. But I imagine that's because
so. How do
that's
you feel about
you're-
the whole technical side of everything? Because when I'm like, keep in mind, I'm trying to like show him like, hey, this is what you do. This is blah, blah. I feel like to him it's like blah 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 blah, blah like in the old cartoon. I forget what it's called.
You're not wrong.
Okay.
I wish that some of the shit was a lot simpler.
Yeah.
As you're talking, I'm like, oh my god, and it's not even you. It's
Yeah, no,
like
no, I get what
it's
you're- I
the
know what you mean.
technical aspect
Yes,
of
yeah.
like.
And
it-
that's another thing I should say is when I first started this next channel, I thought that little shitty laptop was gonna be able to do what I needed to do, and it couldn't. That shitty little laptop couldn't even handle this currently, and he didn't even believe me that this laptop would handle, and it's a breeze. So that just shows you how much of a novice he is at the technical
Yeah.
side.
Yeah, talk to me about other stuff like fun facts, like what year a certain movie was made.
Okay,
Stuff like
so
that.
what year was the first Jaws made?
Oh boy, I want to guess like 1978.
1978. You know what? I think that's actually right. I think I'm
look
gonna
this
do
up.
the same. I think it's 1978.
I want to look it up.
I know it wasn't in the 80s. I mean, it might be off by a year, but I'm actually gonna agree with you.
Fuck, I was off by 3 years.
What was it?
1975.
1975. Okay.
See, but
No,
I was
but-
right. I knew it was in the 70s.
Yeah. I mean,
See,
I
Jaws is
agreed
different.
with you because I was like, I think he's right actually.
I know it wasn't the 80s because I know 80s was the time that. the
Okay, so
sequels
let's
came
go
out.
something a little bit more newer. When was the first Jurassic Park made?
I think this is 1992, right?
I think so because it was like the first time CGI was like
I like how
successfully
you're quizzing me, but
used.
you're not even.
I don't know because you were just like, what's the fun fact of the day? I know every movie. That was your whole aura, and then now you're like, can I like double check this really quick?
Well, it's good to double check. Oh, I was off by 1 year. I was off by 1 year. It was
What was it?
1993.
1993. Okay.
Yeah. See, okay, there certain movies I do know a lot about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wish you're gonna hate this, but back to foreign cinema.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Just to preface real quick, I just can't stand reading subtitles during my movie.
He can't
I just
stand
want to
reading.
hear and visualize. That's what I want. That's
Okay.
that's what I want. I
wanna
don't think that's
know-
asking for a lot.
So, I made him watch a movie called I Saw the Devil.
Oh my god. Okay.
I really do love this movie. It became an instant classic to me. He was on board until like midway.
It's so bad.
And then
It just like
and then
goes off
but
the
I
rails.
think he loses track of what the story is trying to tell,
No.
and he's just not quite grasping. So I'm gonna let you.
Okay,
talk
no,
about
hold
it
on. No, I
from your
think you should
perspective.
give your layout of what you think of the movie and like kind of like the progression because I really don't think they're gonna watch it.
Okay, well,
Tell them what it is, and then
a
I'll tell you what
South
my
Korean
gripes
film,
are.
And it is about a man that works in like Central Intelligence or something, and his wife gets brutally killed, and he's trying. It's the stereotypical. I gotta search for her killer and get revenge.
Like Taken, yep.
Exactly. But the only problem is he's like a horrible serial killer. It's like very brutal. It's very grotesque stuff. If you do decide to watch it, just kind of know full ahead of time.
Yep.
You will be really prepared. There's really good prosthetics in this movie too. There's lots of things I love about this movie.
Yes.
The cinematography, the camera work, the score, the acting. Even though we may not be speaking the same language, you can see the emotion in their eyes, and whether it's like rage or sadness. It's just I have nothing but good things to say about this movie. But where it differs in most revenge stories is it's a catch and release story. So I'm gonna catch you, and then I'm gonna hurt you just a little bit, and I'm gonna let you go, so you know what it feels like to be prey, essentially. Like I want you to feel the way my wife felt when she suffered. That's the way I interpreted the movie. Like I said, I give it a 10 out of 10. It's just if you like revenge movies that really are different, I highly recommend this one. I'm gonna let you talk about
Okay,
it.
so
now. I feel
my
like it's
gripes.
obvious.
All right, let me get the positives out of the way. I agree with the score. I agree with the cinematography. Like, there's one part when his wife officially gets like chopped up, and it just shows a storm drain, and it's just kind of like panning in, and then it's just water, and then it switches to blood, and like those like that. I like that cinematography, but where it goes off the rails, like how he said, is like a little catch release. He runs into the killer, essentially doing his deed, his like whole act, essentially what he does with his victims, and he interrupts it. and he beats the shit out of him. I think he cuts him up a little bit or whatever. Then he goes.
First
then
time he breaks his hand. The second
Okay,
time
breaks
he
his
cuts
hand.
his Achilles.
Well, hold on. And then he goes to the hospital. He lets him go to the hospital. Then he's like kind of recovering, and then he like has the nurse, and he's doing his thing with the nurse. And then he comes in last minute when it's about to go down. He comes in, rips his Achilles out, beats the shit out of him, and then leaves him be again. And then the same thing happens again. And then it happens one more time if I'm not mistaken. And also, I'd even mention that every person that you run into that's not a woman is a serial killer. Like, he jumps into a random cab, and it's just a fucking car full of serial killers. You're like, this is so random. This is so random. There's, like, no setup. It's not like a, you know, like, oh, this is, like, the distant future where, like, people are just mad and, you know, I don't know. Like a Mad Max or something.
Yeah.
It's, like, you think it's normal, and then all of a sudden you jump into a car, and you're like, what the hell? Why is everyone just wanting to slice up everyone all of a sudden? And it happens more than once, because then he jumps into a house later on. It's just full of serial killers as well. I'm like,
They're cannibals. As
cannibals. I'm like, what is happening?
You're like, what did I walk into?
Yeah, I'm like, there's nothing, there's no setup to it. It's just like all of a sudden, boom, it's there, boom, it's there, and then and him doing the whole catch release just becomes like a run-on sentence that just goes on and on. Like, he lets him go, and he continues to do bad things to women. And it's like, bro, step in and do it. And then he ends up getting his wife's sister and family all murdered because he couldn't kill them the very first time. Does anything else need to be said? Like, I mean, it's just so poorly written. Okay, hold on. The first 20 minutes, fire. I was in. I was like, dude, this movie's actually gonna be good. And then the problems just started coming. I was like, what is happening?
Can I tell you how I interpreted the movie?
Okay.
Because I kind of, it's considered horror. So I kind of lean it towards that as well.
Okay.
And the way I saw this movie too was that, and again, I could be reaching, but art is subjective. You're like, I know I'm gonna beat you over the head with this because you already heard me say this, but you're supposed to feel that way. You're like, dude, you should have just killed him. One girl was traumatized already.
Okay, let me jump in real quick.
You know,
The only thing is that the movie should have been basically an hour shorter. It should have been, he does the catch release the first time. The first time he goes and does the thing to his wife's or his wife's family. That's when it should have happened. It should have happened right then and there. It shouldn't do catch release, catch release, catch release. It shouldn't have been that. That's where my gripe is. The middle of the movie is where my gripe comes in. Not the point of him being like, you know, oh my God, I messed up. The thing is that he repeated the mistake too many times.
Yeah.
Way too many times to where the belief, me watching, because obviously when you watch any type of movie, you disband your belief to a certain extent. But in this case, I'm like, I'm sorry, but anyone with common sense, even for a horror movie standard, you're going to kill the killer when you have a chance to kill the killer. That's just what it is. That's where my big issue comes in. But I will say, him getting his revenge in the end was pretty brutal. That was very brutal. It's just the middle part of the movie is where I just can't forgive it. I just can't. It's so bad to me.
I mean, that's interesting. I completely understand how you feel. That's okay.
Okay.
But I disagree.
Okay.
And I just think the ending works. To me, what sticks out to me the most, and I get your criticism, is the ending. Because I think this is a movie that really captures that revenge is a dish best served cold. Nobody wins. I love revenge movies, and I love when revenge movies make you feel like, yeah, that's realistic. Because when you get your revenge, there's no gratification still after.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
So, like, I don't know. I
don't
love the
disagree with that
Yeah.
part. I don't, like I said, it just goes back to that middle. I really do think that if it was just an hour shorter, like an hour and 20, because it was what, 2 hours long, right?
Yeah.
It could have just been an hour 20, and I felt like you could have accomplished the exact same things, shorten it down, and then also just give a little bit of back lore on why there's so many serial killers. Because it's really off-putting at first. You're like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Why is this happening the way that it's happening? And he had to jump in. He's like, so basically, there's just serial killers everywhere. Just know that from the point on. I'm like, okay. And I'm like,
Well, I also
and to me, that's a bad thing. If someone else has to jump in and explain it away, that's not good. To me, that's poor writing on their part. not fully flushing out the world.
I mean, yeah, but also like, it still would have caught you off guard though, right? Like even if I didn't tell you, and you watched it, and all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, I'm about to."
No, I know that is what happened. So as soon as he jumped in the car and they started like killing each other, I said, "What is happening?" And you're like, "Yeah." So there's basically just serial killers everywhere.
That
just
camera
so you know.
angle though.
That camera angle's fire. See, that's what I'm talking about. There's things that I really like about the movie because it like pans all the way through. It looks super cool, but then it just does little things like an extremely long run-on sentence. So I'm like, if you just cut out essentially an hour, 45 minutes at the least, it would have been so much better. Mm-hmm. I would have given if they would have cut out the middle half of the movie, I probably would have given it like a solid 8. But as it stands right now, I give it like barely a 5.
I still think you need to watch Old Boy.
If there's a dub version, then yes.
I can't find a dub version.
See, I just can't read and watch. My brain just can't compute. I'm sorry.
You just can't read.
I can't read, but that's what I'm saying.
It's okay.
I'm also dyslexic, and I fully accept that I'm dyslexic.
Oh.
Because like sometimes when I read, it just I'll have to redo a word because it just doesn't look correct to me.
Is it like eyes. Movie dyslexia where like the words just start popping up out at you and you don't know what's going on?
What do you mean by that?
Have you ever seen how someone who's dyslexic in a movie and they'll just look at a book and every like letter's gonna rearrange itself?
No, that's way too dramatic. But when I will say when I was younger, it kind of did that a little bit. It was more like words would get so blurred together that it would go like they'd switch, like it would almost be reversed.
Yeah, they've done that too.
That's the most closest thing I could say, but that happened more when I was really young, like really young, like when I was really first trying to learn how to read, where I was like, why does this look so weird to me?
Like the.
Well, no, it's not words like that. It's like it's more like when it comes to like bigger words like thought or.
Dude, so when in class they would call upon you to read.
There'd be times where I'd be like, there'd be times where I'm like, I'm not reading. I would literally tell them I'm not reading.
Were you like actually like kind of like insecure about it?
Well, of course, dude. I can't fucking read. What do you mean?
I'm sorry. I'm just not used to him being insecure. He's always like, I'm the shit.
I mean, that wasn't until until I learned how to fight. Was when I stopped giving a fuck. But when I was in middle school, yeah, I was like, bro, I'm not reading. I was like, I'm just not reading.
Like, my feelings will get hurt.
You're gonna get fucking roasted for this. There's so many dyslexic people in the world. You know that, right?
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's
you're just so nonchalant
in Africa. Yeah, I am.
Yeah, you really are. I'm like, holy shit.
You're like, it's actually a problem.
It actually is a problem. It actually is a problem.
I really am disregarding that completely. I don't mean to think about that.
It really is. I'm like, you don't even have to worry about me. It's them you have to worry about.
Oh, man.
Here's another podcast ruined.
No, it's not. This is the third take, and I feel like we've been doing pretty good, I think.
You're the one that has to take it off the rails is the problem.
That's not true.
Or our audience is getting upset with you.
I think he's offended at you.
For me, for what? Being dyslexic, that's my choice, right?
That's a good point. Sam. You think my cat knows how to read?
No, he doesn't know how to read. He's a cat. Okay, is he smarter than you? I do think he'll.
But how conscious are cats?
Like,
would you like to get into the mind of a cat?
I would like to get into the mind of a cat.
Like maybe if you
dude, they have the life. His life is easy. His biggest worry is why isn't the door open right now? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Or like when are you gonna feed me?
Now on the other side of that though, there's a lot of cats that are homeless.
Oh,
dude, when I worked in the healthcare place that I worked at, the back by the dumpster, there was this black cat that was so skinny. It was so sad. And I would grab the meat because the head chef there at the time was like, you can't feed him. He's like, you don't feed him. And I was like, okay. But as soon as he left, because he would always leave and I would always have to be left to clean up, right? Mm-hmm. And I would always grab meat. I would be like, here. And the cat would be so squeamish. Like, it wouldn't even come close to me. And, like, I would have to, like, put it down and kind of take a step back. It took so long for it to get my trust to even smell me. Aww. I never even touched it.
That's so sad.
It was, and when I say skinny, I mean, it was like, you could see its ribs. Like it was
I
bad.
hate that, dude.
And even with me feeding it like I think I worked like 3 days a week, 4 days a week, every night, every other night. I barely got it even, remotely full.
Dude.
Like it slightly filled out a little bit, so where you could only see like the last rib.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, I'm like, oh my god, there's
Hope so.
nothing I can do for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't save all the cats in the world. That's the unfortunate.
No,
part.
you can't. But when you see that one that's like so, like you could tell that it's seen some shit. Like it had scars, like all over its face, and just
That's
like it was
so
bad.
sad.
Yeah, and it like half of its tail was like kind of off-ish. Like it, like you could tell that it like just healed
It
around
was
it.
a black cat, right?
It was all black.
I mean, isn't there a statistic that says like black cats get really abused?
Do they?
Something like that.
I know that they're like apparently bad luck or something.
Well, it's also like on Halloween. Apparently, like they don't sell them or adopt them. Like they're always like, be careful because people like do some ritualistic shit. Now I don't know how true that is,
That's wild,
but
actually.
that is fucking crazy, dude. Because like leave the poor cats alone, man.
Yeah.
Like at least go sacrifice a human. There's a lot of homeless
Dude,
people.
when I in my very first house that I ever lived in, the family down the street actually ate cats. Yeah, this was like 2005.
How do you know?
I knew because my sister's cat, my older sister, she still lived with us at that time, went missing.
You're joking.
I'm not joking. This is true. And my sister just happened to be friends with their daughter, and she literally saved our cat. Literally saved them, and was like, "Hey, this is what my family does. They eat cats." And she brought it back to us, and then we ended up moving. Not even like 6 months later. Yeah.
That's fucking insane, bro. First of all, I'd throw hands if you ate my cat, bro.
Yeah,
If
I was
you
so
ate my
young that I
cat-
don't even know if anything else happened. I should ask my parents about that.
God.
I don't even know if anything else happens, like they contact the authorities or anything. But I just remember that because
that's
I
not
remember.
legal here, right?
Yeah, I don't think so. But they're domesticated, so I'm pretty sure they're not. But I remember, even as a young kid, like how old was I in 2005?
That's traumatizing.
I was like, I think it was like 6 in 2005. So it's like,
My poor cat.
I remember even being like, what? Like what? Yeah, that was crazy.
Well, she had some humanity because she's like, my family does wrong. You know?
Yeah.
And, like,
I don't think she ate cats. It was just her family because of like the way their culture was beforehand or something. It was like something about their culture where they like I don't even know. But it was just weird. Just something that's shouldn't be legal.
Man, I can't imagine, dude. That sounds so horrifying.
Yeah, because at the time I remember there being a lot of like post-it notes for cats. And like I was so little, and I was like, I remember looking at one because it was like on our fence, because like the way our house was, it kind of shared a street with like a kind of major-ish road, and there was like stamping notes on our fence, and I was like, I remember being like, Dad, why is that there? So there's a cat missing. There was multiple cats missing.
So if you had a cat missing,
Well, okay, hold on. We do live in Oregon, so there is a lot of coyotes, a lot of raccoons. Raccoons won't eat your cat, but they can seriously fuck them up. But it's mainly just coyotes. Dude, when I lived in my old parents' house, right out of high school in like 2017, dude, there was like a big amount of cat because our neighbor used to have a lot of cats, and it just dwindled down to 2, because we just had at the time there was it's where the houses are. Remember when I got the truck stuck? Yeah. That area right there, that was a huge breeding ground for coyotes.
I did not know that.
Yeah, there were so many coyotes, and they would just come in because I'm going off the top of my head, but their range of like where they're based at, they like scavenge in like a 3-mile radius or something. Because like I know they move, like they're kind of like wolves in certain aspects where like they kind of move.
They have like packs and stuff.
But like for the most part, they genuinely stay in an area where they're familiar, and then that's like their breeding ground. And yeah, a bunch of cats went missing during that time. And then houses got built there, and then that problem went away.
Yeah.
And that's just because of like, agriculture just coming in and building houses and everything and pushing wildlife out further. So like where I still live now, there's still coyotes, but they're not nearly as bad as back when it was at that point, just because it was just such a big field there. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's and the way that coyotes kind of hunt too. It's very intelligent. You know, the way they'll play dead or the way that they'll.
Yeah.
you
Well, they know their prey.
distract, and
They
it's
know
so
their prey.
Insane, dude.
Yeah. They're not gonna. Because they're like not like wolves where they can just essentially manhandle.
Yeah.
But they're like,
Yeah.
okay, if there's like let's say a pit bull, like you're a dog.
Yeah.
Where it's like the coyote's smart enough to be like, yeah, I shouldn't fuck with that thing. That thing will fuck me up.
Yeah.
I'll be its dinner. So it's smart enough to know that aspect of its own
Dude,
limits.
Have you heard that story about that dude? It's on the Rogan podcast about that dude that had a pit bull.
No, I didn't.
And he said he came home one day and he found him covered in blood and cuts, and he took him to the vet, right? And he's just had some cuts and bruises and stuff. And he's like, what happened? He's like, look, a lot of this wasn't his blood, but he is cut up. You know, gave him the whatever he needed and everything. He goes back, and, gets the dog back in the house. He's like, dude, I gotta go find out what happened, right? And he does, dude. He finds like a pack of coyotes just completely dead.
What the fuck?
Yeah, dude.
Holy shit.
And he's like, dude, my dog was literally getting jumped.
Wow.
And he killed an entire pack of coyotes.
That's crazy. Because coyotes will fuck you up. Like,
Yeah.
even a person, they'll fuck. I don't know if they would necessarily kill you because they're usually weaker.
Yeah.
They're usually not like they're a little malnourished. You know, they're a little weaker, but they can swarm you.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think that's probably like one of the few wild animals that you can run into and like escape.
Yeah, coyotes don't.
Because like if you run into a wolf, bobcat, anything like that, they're gonna fuck you up. Like it's
Or
not even
I
gonna be a match
will.
for them. Dude, I just looked at the camera. You're like, I will. And it's just like red. You're in the darkness.
I know. All right, we should start cutting it now. 'Cause
Yeah, we
it's getting
should.
dark.
Anyways, that's Infamous Idiots bonus podcast.
Episode.
Subscribe if you're new. If you like this type of content, let us know by leaving a like. And until next time, peace.
Subscribe.